Welcome back to Step by Step, a podcast brought to you by Palmetto Conservatory of Dance. I'm your host, Antonia Diaz, and my guest for today is Ava Sullivan. I'm very excited for this episode because, just like the one before this, it's about our seniors at Palmetto Conservatory of Dance. But I'm happy to say, too, that Ava went now from being one of our students to being one of our colleagues, and she's joining Palmetto Ballet Theater in its first season. How are you, Ava?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Tell me a little bit about you. I did a small introduction, but tell me a little bit of who you are and how you got into dance.
Well, I'm Ava Sullivan. I'm 18. I started dance at the University of South Carolina Conservatory. And then I came here in 2017, and I left shortly, and now I'm back.
Nice. Who was your first teacher? And I guess it wasn't called Palmetto Conservatory of Dance
No, not
there.
yet.
Who was your first teacher when you got into the studio?
My first teacher, like ever, or just here,
Just here.
was Sasha,
Mhm.
and then Mr. Enko,
Nice.
and then
okay.
Miss Brianna.
Very nice. How did you like working with Miss Brianna back then, before she was like the owner of the studio?
Miss Brianna was one of the only female teachers I had at the time because it was mostly Sasha and Rudenko.
Mhm.
But I really appreciated Brianna's teaching, especially in point work, because she taught a lot about articulation and artistry, which helped me develop as like a female dancer.
Nice. How many or which different styles of movement have you explored different than ballet?
I've mainly studied ballet, contemporary, and modern.
Mhm.
Modern, just a little bit, but yeah.
Do you have a favorite modern technique?
No.
Neither
all
do
really
I, but I
hard.
always like asking that, especially because I remember you went to the summer intensive for complexions,
Oh, yeah.
and that is a whole technique in itself. So I always wonder when there's a lot more classical and contemporary training, and there's a favorite.
It's all just really challenging, so
Yeah.
there's not really a favorite.
That makes sense. Moving on, like I said, this was your senior year.
Yes.
How was that? Senior year can be very stressful and overwhelming because there's a lot of life changes. But also, when you're a senior in ballet, there's a lot of things to do then. How was your year?
My year was really fast paced, honestly,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of uncertainty, but like I wouldn't trade last year for anything. I think it was a really good year for me and I learned a lot. And I don't know, it was a good opportunity for me because I got to come straight from school to the
Mhm.
professional rehearsals, and I got like the best of both worlds kind of with school and ballet.
That's awesome. And you also competed, even though I don't know if you expect to compete in the future. A lot of the competitions now don't allow professionals to compete. How do you feel about heading into the end of those competitions as a student this past year?
I definitely felt the pressure
Mhm.
as a senior because I wanted to be seen by companies and like artistic directors, and that's like mainly what the senior competition is for.
Right.
But I just think it was a good opportunity to have another performance, practice a solo on stage where you wouldn't normally in the company. And yeah.
Ava actually choreographed her own contemporary solo this year, and it was such a fulfilling experience, I guess, as a teacher. I don't know how it felt for you, but as a teacher, it's always very empowering to see your students evolve. Because even though I met you briefly, because you came back only the past 3 years when I've been here, you get to see the maturity in the choreography and how much you absorb from where you've been. How was that process of choreographing for you the senior year?
It was definitely a learning curve.
Mhm.
There were a lot of things I didn't expect to be challenging that were challenging.
Mhm.
It took a lot more time than I thought, and I got completely like creatively blocked many, many, many times. I think I even came into a rehearsal with you and I was like, I'm just gonna do my old solo.
Yeah.
But good thing that didn't end up happening.
Which is, I mean, it happens. Every
Yeah.
choreographer will tell you at some point. And I guess it's good that you get to experience this young, because you also learn how to overcome it. How did you overcome that block this time around?
Like everything in dance, I just had to push through it. Like
Nice.
you especially the competition was really like quickly approaching. And I was like, I don't have any more time to dilly dally. I just have to do this. And then it ended up coming out eventually.
Nice. Did at any point in the season, like academics in ballet, got all the responsibilities together? Like, did you have like an exam and a show or a competition or all of it just at once? How was that?
It was stressful, but I don't know. I didn't really feel. I definitely got overwhelmed at some points, but I'm really grateful for the community here because after I left school, none of the school stress was in my mind. Like I really got distracted in the studio and with my friends. So, but during December, I had exams and Nutcracker. I had to come here every day, like after my school day.
Oh, there's a lizard. Well, she's small. I'm gonna let her be unless she starts climbing upon us. Oh.
Sorry, I shouldn't have come up.
That's okay. Tell me a little bit too. You didn't have like a simple season this season because you just mentioned December, and it's not like you had a core place in the Nutcracker. You were Clara herself, and it wasn't your first year as Clara either, but it was a whole new production, new choreography, new storytelling. How was the process of kind of graduating Nutcracker as a student with Clara?
It was so emotional. I remember the last 2 shows of Nutcracker, I was doing the finale in tears because I was so sad it was over. But it was so much fun. I miss Nutcracker so much. And it was my first pas de deux that I got to perform on stage.
I didn't know that. Oh.
Yeah, so it was really special for me.
I'll put some videos there. It was really pretty. It wasn't your last show though, especially not for like the school productions. How did it feel, Maleficent, your very last show as a student?
Oddly enough, I was more sentimental about Nutcracker than like my last show with PCD. But Caraboss kind of came after a really long season, and it was the last summer show. So I was kind of just ready to be done. But it was definitely emotional to dance with my senior friends for the last time. But I'm grateful for the opportunity to do that.
Did it feel at all? Because I'm guessing now how when you were speaking, I was like, maybe it's part of the maturity process. Once you already know that your next step is still dancing, well, it's not like you take it for granted, but you take it more professional. You're like, that this is what we're doing now. Whereas in Nutcracker, you were still a student. Things were still trying to figure themselves out. So there was a lot more like emotion trapped as well. Going pro though, it's a whole different type of business. Did you go through an audition process? How has that worked for you? Not this season, but before, if you auditioned before for a company.
It's a lot of trial and error, and it takes a lot more time than you would expect, especially if you're filming an audition video. It's not going to happen in one day. It's probably not going to happen in 1 week. It's going to take a really long time of like redoing everything and making sure it's the way you want. And sometimes you can send out an audition video and you won't even hear anything back, which is really discouraging. But it only takes one yes. And even if you get a bunch of no's, it only takes one yes.
That is so true. That is so true. What made you decide to stay local with Palmetto Ballet Theater?
I really had to think about my goals and what I wanted in my future career. And I knew that I didn't want to stop school. And but I also wanted to be a professional dancer. And at the time, I didn't really know if it was possible, but I found out it is. So I get to go to an in-state community college and be a professional dancer full-time. And awesome. I don't think that would have been possible anywhere else but here.
Awesome. What is your academic interest too, which is great because we don't hear it a whole lot. Some dancers do want to get academically involved, but some really don't. They just want to involve fully in dance. What are your academic pursuits for the future?
I'm going to be studying biology in my community college, and it's because this is actually something I learned from you. It's knowledge is power, especially when it comes to knowing about your body and like protein intake, stuff like that, and like your bones, your ligaments. It's especially important in dance. So I wanted to do something that has to do with the body and like natural sciences and stuff.
That is awesome. I remember one of our former dancers for Columbia Classical, Erin, She did biology and she knew so much. Anytime she got injured, even though it wasn't a fun time for her, she knew exactly what was going on. So it wasn't unnecessarily overwhelming. So thank you for giving me that credit though. But I so agree. Knowing things, having the knowledge, and having the power to know that what you're doing is something that you know of makes it so much less stressful.
And with you, literally every time I got injured in the studio, I'd be like, Miss Antonia, where do I need to tape? Where do I put my KT tape? So I want to be able to know where to do that too.
Nice. Well, that's very good. What are you most looking forward into this new company life? Because it's new. What are you most looking forward to?
This is kind of like silly, like seems not important, but I'm really excited to take class in the morning because I'm only used to taking class at night. But for me, when I would come to take class sometimes, occasionally, in the mornings, it just always went better.
I've heard that so much. I remember when I was in school, I was like, I could never. I don't have energy in the mornings. I could never take class in the morning. But it gets easier. So if you like it before you even start, I feel like that's a great head start for sure. And you got the training from before. Thankfully, you were able to be a trainee with the company before, and you've definitely had professional experience. You even danced with the company when you were in school in a company production. So I'm so glad that you got to live that, because it really feels like you know what you're heading into and you have the tools to do what you need to do. Do you feel like all the training that you've gotten this past years has helped you come where you are today?
Absolutely. If it weren't for PCD, I wouldn't have been able to participate in so many company productions. And I feel like I wouldn't know at all what it's like to learn choreography quickly and then be expected to pretty much know everything, even if you don't have a spot or anything.
Yeah.
I learned that especially pretty much every season I've done Nutcracker here, because somebody always ends up getting injured in flowers, and I always have to go in.
That's so true. Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Even when I was Clara, somebody got injured, and I was expected to know the flowers choreography, and it really settled into me that I was like, I have to know every part of the ballet.
Yes, and it wasn't every show that you had to do that. So you also had to know which show was it that you had to do that, which sometimes, I mean, thankfully you didn't have to do it every show, but sometimes it gets challenging because we lose track of what day it is when we're at the theater. So we really got to stay in mental shape of what we're doing. Which one was the most challenging company experience that you've had so far?
That's tough. I think probably 2022 La Bayadere Shades was the most difficult, because I had never had experience in a corps de ballet before, and Shades is the corps de ballet ballet. Like, it was definitely super hard, especially with the spacing, and I was a little bit younger, and it was my first time in a company environment, so I had no clue. Like, it was definitely the hardest.
Yeah, and y'all were so young. I remember that, and very proudly of the corps of the ballet that we had then. Y'all got no help.
Yeah.
Like, it was to the point that I would see dancers being like, there are students that can figure it out. And I was like, they can't. So, I mean, somebody has got to come and help these kids. And y'all still did it.
But that's like the reality of the ballet world, is not all of the time. Like, this is a very positive company environment, but not every company is going to be helpful and accepting to new people. So I got a little bit of a taste of that, which I'm still grateful for. Like, it was still a good experience.
Character building, for sure.
Yes.
What type of dancer do you hope to become in this new professional journey?
I really want to be more well-rounded, and I want to work on more contemporary styles and my quality of movement. I don't want to I want to work on my technique, obviously, but I want to be someone like Issa. Like, your eyes get drawn to them, as like when they're moving, no matter if it's ballet or contemporary.
Very nice. Do you have a dream company? You're just stepping into your first professional job, so is there anywhere that you're like, that's where I want to be, that's where I would love my dreams to come true?
Not really. I just want to sorry.
You're good.
Not really. I just want to see where the journey takes me. I'm not going to put any expectations on my career or anything, just
That's
so
good
I
too.
stay happy where I am.
That's really good. Very famous quote. No expectations, no disappointments.
Yes,
Never
very
fails.
true.
And tell us a little bit of where people can keep up with you. Do you hope to stay active in social media? Do you want people to just come watch you in the shows? Tell us a little bit of that.
I'm very active on Instagram.
Mhm.
I'll definitely be in the shows, I hope, unless I get injured.
The abs too.
And maybe I'll be starting a ballet TikTok soon, so stay posted.
Nice. Well, 100%. We'll share that in the episode if it's already out by then. And I'm going to wrap it up with our step-by-step question. What is your favorite dance step?
My favorite dance step?
It doesn't have to be ballet. It can be actually anything from dance that you know.
This is hard. I've never really thought about this before. I think before, if you asked me, I would say brise volet. I really like to do those.
Nice.
But now I like a good Alice turn.
Nice. I like that too. Well, just like I did with our seniors before, I'm going to close this real quick. And I'm going to give you this one. You can wear it proudly. You can put it in your room, wherever you want, but it's all yours. It's your class of 2025 because you not only graduated high school, but you kind of graduated from a pre-professional program as well.
Yes.
And the best way heading right into like company life. So I'm so glad that you're getting that experience and that you were able to join us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, and stay tuned for the next one.